Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We focus exclusively on spirituality, Vedanta, and Sanatana Dharma. Please subscribe our channel for mystical meanings of the scriptures and daily satsang. Our humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman or God, our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, all sages and scriptures, and to the divinity in each of you. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Mahabharata. Commentaries by Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's episode, we will be discussing Bhishma Parva. Just as the conches resounded anew and the war was about to commence between the Kauravas and Pandavas, another unexpected development occurred. Leaving his weapons behind, Yudhishthira suddenly got down from the chariot without speaking to anyone and began to move towards the Kaurava army. His obedient brothers followed him without seeking any explanation. Seeing all this, the Kaurava onlookers were certain that Yudhishthira had decided to surrender, and they felt a disgust for his lack of valor. To the surprise of the onlookers, but in keeping with the traditional ethics of his upbringing, Yudhishthira went to Bhishma, offered his adorations, and asked his permission to fight with him. So this was the traditional culture respecting the elders, even if in this case Bhishma is on the opposing side. Nevertheless, Yudhishthira revered him and sought his blessings. Highly pleased, Bhishma gave his blessing, saying that Yudhishthira and the Pandavas would certainly attain victory in this battle because they were on the side of virtue. Like they say, yato dharmas tato jaya, wherever there is dharma or ethical righteousness, there will be victory. He further encouraged them by saying that although he would do his duty and fight intensely on the part of the Kauravas, his heart will always send out goodwill for a Pandava victory. Imagine Bhishma's character, supporting, fighting on the side of the evil, but praying for the side of the good, praying for Pandava's success. And at the right time in the battle, he would convey the secret of how the Pandavas could disable him, because Bhishma had a blessing, a boon, that he could not be killed unless he wanted to be, unless he decided it. So due to his intense grace later in the war, he will even share that with Pandavas. Imagine that. Heartened by these words of their revered grandfather, the Pandavas then went to Dronacharya, their former guru of archery and other martial arts. He was the guru who taught Arjuna and all the other Pandavas how to fight or the use of weapons. With reverence, they adored him also and requested permission to fight. Dronacharya too was pleased and gave his permission for them to enter into battle with him and attain victory. He made it clear that although he would not turn away from the fight, he would internally wish for the success of the Pandavas. Then Yudhishthira asked Dronacharya for insight into how he could be overcome in battle. Dronacharya said that no one could kill him as long as he was seated in the chariot with a weapon in his hand. However, if a trustworthy person were to bring him intensely distressing news about the battle, he would lay down his arms due to dejection and become vulnerable. Yudhishthira and the Pandavas then went to the other elders such as Kripacharya and Shalya and received blessings from them all. Heartened by this encouragement, the Pandavas then took up their places in their battle formation and prepared to fight. As the battle commenced, Arjuna's chariot appeared splendid on the sunlit, wide-swept battlefield of Kurukshetra. Driven by Krishna and powered by 4 snowy white horses, that chariot passed through the battling armies as a most awesome symbol of the Pandavas' irrepressibly commitment to attain victory. A special banner on that chariot was presided by Lord Hanuman. As you recall, Hanuman had once offered to thrash the entire Kaurva clan for the Pandavas in the twinkling of an eye and save them the trouble of accomplishing the task for themselves. However, Bhima discouraged that, telling him that the Pandavas wanted victory on the basis of their self-effort. Hanuman then pledged to give his support during the battle by frightening the army with his terrible roar. Thus, from the beginning of the war, each time Arjuna and Krishna blew their conches, Hanuman let out a terrible roar from the depths of his being, which temporarily deprived the enemies of all their courage. Like Hanuman, Lord Krishna, with his divine power, could have paralyzed the entire power of the Kauravas in an instant. However, both Krishna and Hanuman simply accompanied Arjuna in the chariot, assisting him by their mere presence and by acts of their grace. Similar to a guru and disciple structure, where the disciple puts in his self-effort while the grace of the guru continues to support the disciple. So this is how Lord Krishna, although he is the Lord of the universe, he could have done anything, but to help the Arjuna, the Pandavas, and each of these people get their energy, self-respect, and their own accomplishment. It has to be their earning, just like self-realization has to be our effort. But yet, we cannot take the entire credit. The effort goes to all the energies who are helping us achieve that goal. And the prime among that is the Guru, who is the visible form of God and who is guiding the soul on that path. The imagery of the chariot has its roots in the Upanishads. Katha Upanishad describes the chariot of human personality in which the soul is seated. In this chariot, the senses are the horses, the mind is the reins, and the intellect is the driver. That imagery from the Upanishads has become highly elaborated in the Mahabharata because it actually turned like that. The chariot was there, and Lord Krishna was the chariot driver, the intellect, and the soul sitting is Arjuna, and he was deluded, and then he needed to be guided properly. In this setting, the chariot again represents the human personality with the senses as the horses, the minds as the reins. Here, Arjuna himself is the individual soul who is being driven, and Krishna, the divine self, is the driver. Imagine the Lord of the universe being so humble as to taking the position of a chariot driver. Lord Krishna represents intellect at the zenith of intuitional unfoldment. As spiritual insight grows, a person develops the awareness that it is God himself who expresses through his intellect, driving the chariot of his personality through life's battling forces of good and evil until victory is attained. With this, we conclude today's satsang. Tomorrow, we will be picking up the episode, The Disabling of Bhishma. This is Swami Nikhilanand. Om Tat Sat.